A standard pour, one could say. A whiskey, you could say, belongs on every whiskey drinker's whiskey shelf. Let's drink some whiskey. Welcome to Whisky and Whisky. I'm the Whiskey Chaser Brian here in Christy's bar, Kilkenny. I hope you're keeping well. Knowing what I know now and with the gift of hindsight, this is probably a whiskey I should have done a long time ago. In fairness, I did tackle its higher ABV kind of brethren a few months back on this release, and yeah, I still think the higher ABV one is a stunning drop. Now, we have spoke about the brand, the history, the significance of the other releases. We just haven't really tackled this one. But today we tackle, this is the original Jameson Black Barrel release. All right, so it's not the original, it's the newer original. It's the standard pour. Now, one might think it's kind of pointless doing this video now, seeing as I did the Black Barrel Proof upon its release a while back, but this is a standard pour, staple in one's whiskey diet. Some might even go as far as to say a whiskey that got them into drinking and loving whiskey even more. Now, it's not the standard Jameson triple distilled pour, obviously. There is a sprinkling of extra love in this barrel, no doubt. And for years, people have screamed out for this to be a higher ABV. And more recently, apart from the distillery bottling, you bottle yourself when you go there, people got their dreams answered with the new Black Barrel Proof edition. For me, this is either one of those whiskeys you love or hate. I find that with some of the people on this one, you're either a fan or not. I, at the start, was not. I will admit that. You know, I had the proof, not thinking much was going to change, and I absolutely love that. And I've since gone back to this original version and actually found it to be really quite pleasant and a nice drinker. This is a blended whiskey that uses a higher single pot still to grain blend, apparently. It is bottled at 40% ABV and part of the core range in the Jameson portfolio. Renamed Black Barrel in 2016, and prior to that, I think it was referred to as Select Reserve Black Barrel, and only in some markets. I'm nearly certain that's what the name originally was. I could be wrong, and do feel free to correct me if I am in the comments below. Originally released way back in 2011 in New York City, this is kind of the more complex, more fuller bodied blend when compared to the Jameson original. Interesting fact, the grain whiskey used in Jameson Black Barrel is only produced about once or twice a year at Middleton. It is a different type of grain distillate that's used here in comparison to, say, the original Jameson triple distilled or some other Jameson releases. It's not all the one like I kind of thought it was. This apparently gives off much more robust flavors. Now, what's interesting about the Black Barrel release is that Jameson will double char the inside of the barrels they use, some of them, and they call this rechar a level 5 rechar or a crocodile rechar, as when the inside of the barrel is done, it looks like a crocodile skin. Again, here, the focus is on robust flavors and big interaction between spirit and wood. This is the only whiskey, apparently, that Jameson will double char its casks for. You kind of get the idea where the Black Barrel name came from. My research has turned up, obviously, this is a non-age statement whiskey, but apparently there are some whiskeys used in here as old as 12 years of age, or that was the average age of the whiskeys used, I think. They could have changed slightly since its initial release, but apparently the reason it doesn't carry an age statement because the grain whiskey used loses its sweet butterscotch characteristic when it's aged for more than 6 years. So the peak age of the grain here apparently is 6 years of age, and the pot still is in or around the 12 years-ish. Did I mention it was triple distilled? Yeah, well, it is. Enough jabbering on. We pour the nectar of the gods. So while we're giving this a chance to breathe, it's a 40% ABV non-age statement blended whiskey using a specific grain distilled once a year, referred to as G01 GPL in Middleton, and some pot still Irish whiskey as old as 12 years in this Middleton code LPM. Uses first fill, refill, double char whiskey casks and sherry casks, available pretty much everywhere. Tons of markets, and priced here in Ireland between €40 and €50. And there is coloring in this, I found out, just so you know. All right, so I've given this a moment or two to open up a little bit, and we'll do some tasting notes. So on the nose, this is quite light, is what it comes across as. The first kind of, maybe a bit thin is the word I'm looking for, sorry. A touch on the thin side, non-age statements, you're gonna have that. A little bit of kind of grainy notes coming through there, not so much ABV wise, there's not getting a bang of alcohol, but you are getting some butterscotch, which is standing out tremendously to me. That's one of the first most kind of apparent notes that will open up to me. A little bit of kind of either a milk chocolate note, very slight. There's a little bit, there's a touch, now like a touch, a sprinkling of kind of an almondy note, or I want to say nearly a raisin, a light raisin kind of note. That's the sherry kind of casks that are used, I'm guessing, coming through. Not bad. I mean, yeah, there's that toffee note back there that I got before. Yeah, so think butterscotch, think thin, think milk chocolate, or kind of a fudgy note, toffee, little bit of nuttiness from the sherry, a little bit on the aromatic side, no real alcohol hit. Well, not on my nose anyway. It is still early. So let's have a little sup. Let's launch it. Quite sweet on the palate. Vanilla. Oh, that sweetness is quite nice actually. Really nice, like a honey sweetness mixed with a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of a nuttiness to it in my palate. Quite spicy. It is blended whiskey. It is kind of youngish grain whiskies used in it, so I'm guessing that's kind of coming from that. Another little sup, let's launch it. Yeah, still that thinness is a little bit there. Nutty, spicy, vanilla, honey, touch of grain. You're kind of getting that char on the finish then a little bit. The vanilla is hanging about, the honey sweetness is hanging about. Yeah, nothing really crazy going on there. Actually wonder how that stacks up to the Black Barrel Proof. Hold on a second. So this is a 50% ABV, that's a 40% ABV. Let's try this. Glass. So yeah, just as an interesting kind of side by side, I wasn't really planning on comparing the two of them, but while I have them here, be interested to see if there are any differences. I already know there's going to be. Straight away on the nose, first of all, it's a lot thicker, the Black Barrel Proof, than the original Black Barrel. Like I said, in the Black Barrel, you have that thinness kind of coming through as a kind of a younger, a watered down distillate. Look, it is 40%, this is 50%. What's more apparent in the Black Barrel Proof is, I think, the kind of the sherry notes coming through, and the kind of toasted notes, obviously, coming through. A little bit of kind of hay there. Yeah, your nuttiness, still getting the vanillas, still getting that little bit of grain, but more on the sherry notes, more on the toasted oak notes, a little bit more on the sweeter notes. Let's launch it. Oh, lovely, bursting on the palate. Spicy, like a chili pepper spice. Yeah, way more of the nutty notes coming through on the palate there. Definitely more of the vanilla notes. Look, it's the Black Barrel. I'm not getting the fudge note. I was going to say something there. One more sup. Why not? It's not it. Lovely, nutty, spicy, vanilla. Same thing as the Black Barrel. It's just turned up. Just everything is kind of turned up, more apparent, comes through more. I'm getting more of that sherry note off of it. I'm also getting more of the vanillas. Funnily enough now, I didn't get that much butterscotch on the note. Still don't. Anyway, stand by for my thoughts on the Black Barrel. For me, Black Barrel will always be in my mind a standard pour. I think it's nice. It It has a nice nose on it, and a lot of whiskey fans would enjoy this Irish blend. However, and I do know this is not a comparison video, but I think I would spend the extra few euro on the Black Barrel Proof if I had a choice, as it has more to give, in my opinion, in terms of flavor profile and character, if I had a choice. In saying that, if you don't like cask strength whiskey, then this is certainly one to look out for, to try. Nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, and you can see why so many people like it. I think it's kind of priced a touch on the high side in Ireland at the minute for a 40% ABV whiskey. But in saying that, I don't think I would have a problem in buying a bottle if the proof wasn't available. I mean, look, it's one to try anyway. And you guessed it, it's here in Christie's. Oh shit, I nearly forgot. We have to scratch this off our scratch off poster. That's available in the link below. Use code CHASER2022 for 20% off at checkout. Link below, poster. 100 Irish Whiskies bucket list we're getting through. Oh, Jameson, right there. Black Barrel. Right, we scratchy. We shall hangy then. I'm gonna have to use a credit card because I have no coins on me. Lovely. I keep meaning to scratch off all the ones that we've drank already on the show, but I will do that next week. This is 100% Irish made, designed by me and a friend for our little whiskey startup, the Whiskey Shelf. And I will leave a link down below. So there we have it, nicely scratched off. These are proper pictures as well, high quality proper pictures. These aren't renderings. We're not cheap like that. You probably can't see that, there's a glare. Be fine. Right, so that is it for this week. Yeah, Jameson Black Barrel. You have my opinions on it. Make sure you're liked and subscribed and all that jazz if you did like that video, and subscribe also if you're not subscribed already, because don't miss anything. So much coming and just waiting on a few more bits to arrive. I know I've been saying this for a solid year, but it's true. Until next week, keep it Irish. Sláinte.